The hashtag Not In My Name has called on the South African Police Services SAPS and the South African National Defence Force SANDF to take action against officers involved in the deaths of South Africans during the national lockdown. The organization was protesting outside the American Embassy in Pretoria yesterday in solidarity with that particular global protest against racism and police brutality. This was also sparked by the death of George Floyd, an African-American who was killed by a police officer last week. Let's now take this conversation further. We are joined now via Skype by Siyabulela Jentile, who is the president of the hashtag Not In My Name. Good afternoon to you, Sia. Thank you so much for joining us here on the SABC News channel. So your organization marched against this police or military brutality. Many were asking about the significance of marching to the U.S. Embassy, whereas you are also marching against the killing of Collins Khoza.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Palisa, and good afternoon to you. Look, we obviously demonstrated outside the U.S. Embassy to call one for justice for Collins Khoza, for Sbusiso, for Petros, as well as Emmanuel and others who have been killed by the police. We were taking a stand against, the impunity law enforcement officers, more especially when they are dealing with unarmed civilians. So the significance of us going to the embassy was also to, say that we identify with the global community, because we are part of the global village, that we identify and we are part of the Black Lives Matter movement ourselves, and we support it. That is why we then decided to take our mass demonstration there. And it's also important to note that this was the first phase of an ongoing campaign to ensure that we get justice for Collins Khoza and everyone else that has been killed by law enforcement officers.
All right, so let's just get your take on the latest developments. Yesterday, the Defense Ministry insisted that investigations into the death of Collins Khoza are far from being closed, and that the military ombudsman is expected to complete a report into this matter within a period of 8 weeks. So the ministry also issued a statement admitting that the minister in that department, Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula, was incorrect when she told the Joint Standing Committee on Defense that the SANDF probe into Khoza's death might be reopened after the military reportedly found that Khoza had not died from the injuries that were allegedly sustained during that beating at the hands of the soldiers. What do you make of all these latest developments?
Look, we welcome the apology of the minister, but we're also saying that this is showing the cracks in our system, especially in our state departments. But of course, we are saying that the inquiry should obviously be looked at again. But in addition to that, as Not In My Name South Africa, we are joining other activists who are calling for an independent inquiry into the death of Collins Khoza, because, the initial findings and the statements that have been going around from the office of the minister are showing us already that, they are not serious about justice, and it's clear that, they do not know what they are doing. So as activists, we are saying that we demand an independent inquiry into the death of Collins Khoza, and also that not only the SANDF, the South African Police Services as well must be called into account. We are trusting IPG to do the right thing and ensure that police officers who have been, obviously involved in the brutality of our people are actually called to book and are actually imprisoned. So the South African National Defence Force has disappointed the people of this country. So we cannot trust them moving forward. That is why we're calling for an independent investigation.
So do you believe that that independent inquiry or investigation will bring about the desired changes? And why do you not believe in what the state has said? Because we also had President Cyril Ramaphosa last night saying that all police officers and members of the SANDF who had mistreated and killed civilians during the lockdown should face the full might of the law. Why do you not believe that the state will act upon all these mistreatments that civilians had to go through during the lockdown?
Look, if the state was serious about injustices meted against our people, black people in particular, we would not even be in a position whereby we are discussing police brutality after so many years into democratic South Africa. And we don't trust the system because they, if anything to go by, it has shown us South African criminal justice system has been very, it has been, doing its work properly when it comes to. And I can remember now the talk of Andres Tatani. This country still today, we feel that the police killed him and when we feel that that was fair. So we do not. That allows its law officers, who, by the way, the responsibility of protecting.
I'm afraid we're losing that Skype connection there to Siyabulela Jentile, but we have the gist of what he has been saying, but I'm afraid due to that bad connection, we have to leave the discussion at that. Siyabulela Jentile is the president of the hashtag Not In My Name, talking to us about the movement and the plans going forward against the police, as well as military brutality that civilians had to go through during the lockdown here in South Africa.